And hello to all friends, Potato is with you, and this is the fourth part of the kit fashion guide for version 121. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like it, write a comment, click on the bell, and also just be sure to subscribe to the Telegram Discord, there's all the news. But we're getting started. Next, consider a mechanical piston and a sticky mechanical piston. The mechanical piston is made of a piston extension, an andesite body, and also a semi-block of wood. The piston extension is made of 2 blocks of wood and also an andesite alloy. A sticky mechanical piston, oddly enough, is made of an ordinary mechanical piston and also a clot of mucus. Let's take it. We also take piston extensions because we need them in order for these pistons to work at all. After all, if we just put it like that, we see that it has an entrance here and an entrance here. Just a comma, nothing comes out. A comma like this, nothing comes out either. Why? Because he needs to put extension cords here. This piston can be extended almost unlimited. Its extension will depend on how many extension cords we put here on this side, because there is such an entrance at the back. Now 3 turns out, if we give him positive energy, then he will move forward for as many as 3 blocks. Here, we can see that he is moving here, and here he is moving out. That's it. And so, let's say he moved the blocks. We can do it back, and it's moving nay. Next, let's immediately move on to the sticky mechanical piston. It looks almost the same and works very similarly. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and let's see what she has here. There are some modes here. Modes of movement, to understand when stopping, to understand only in the initial position, and also to disassemble if the support is destroyed. Look, make out what it means. This means that this thing is called just the same thing that is being pushed out. That is, here it is this thing, and now it is tangible, but it does not break blocks. And to see what it means that it is disassembled in the absence of movement, let's now push out our piston like this. It moves out. And here we can put blocks. Look, we are putting a block here. We will leave a block here, here, and now it will become a block and break these blocks. But we can make it so that it becomes a block only in its original position. That is when it is pushed, or never at all. That is when the support is destroyed. That is this block. In general, here he stopped and nothing broke, because he will become a block only when the support is destroyed. That is here. Next, consider the linear frame and also the secondary linear frame. The linear frame is made of blocks of wood and also 2 andesite alloys. And the secondary one is simply by rescrewing the linear frame. Why do we need these 2 blocks? They are essentially the same. In other words, look, if we put 1 block, the second block now, they will already become 1 block in the structure of gizmos. In other words, they will be glued together, roughly speaking, automatically. And this structure will move together with us. That is, if we do it now, let's say, like this. Look, here we have everything perfectly connected here. Now we push out our piston, and it's all this structure moving. We can also push it, and everything works fine. But we also have a secondary linear chassis. What is it for? Let's say we still have some kind of moving mechanism here. Let's do it like this. You can see that it also connects. But now, attention, if we pull out, then the primary linear frame and the secondary linear frame do not connect because they are different. This can then be used in their cool mechanisms. Next, consider super glue. What is it? This is such a thing with which you can glue absolutely any blocks. In other words, not only these frameworks will move together now, but also all the other blocks. Let's look at how this is done again, using the example of our piston. Let's say we have, say, an oak log. We have it moving from this piston. But how do we make this oak log move as well? We just take the glue, push it here, open it, and here are 2 PCM. Such a zone is allocated. And now this is all we have, is a gizmo. And now if we have to move forward, look, Opa, we have everything moving together. Let's say we can make some such thing. I don't know how you want. The main thing is that we have them connected by their sides. We highlight here and now here. That's it. Now we have it all highlighted. And now it is a gizmo. Well, let's put it forward, and everything is moving perfectly. To break the glue, you just poke the paintwork here like this. That's it. Your whole structure breaks down. You can also put blocks by building up. You take the glue in your second hand and build it up here like this. And that's it. You see, there is such an effect of glue, and it will all be glued together. That is, here you see a wedge here, here with a wedge, here a wedge, here it is not glued together, because it is also necessary to highlight here. By the way, the glue is made from an iron sheet, 1 iron piece, and also 2 slimes. Next, consider the bearing of a windmill. It is made of a shaft of any stone, and also a wooden semi-block. I also take this pair from a Windmill. It is made of 2 sticks of andesite alloy and also wool. I take wool, and here is an auxiliary unit called a radial frame. It is made of 2 andesite alloys and also 3 woods. Great. What is a windmill bearing? Look, let's make such a column out of the ground. It doesn't matter that it's ugly, but let's put this bearing here in short. And now what will it do? In order for it to work, we need to set up a certain structure for it. It can be either made of sails or of wool itself. Let's say, look, we put a sail here once. We can also set them up here. And now let's just go to them here. And writes that the structure contains an insufficient number of sail-like blocks. We have 5, but we need 8. That is, let's increase it even more. These sails will automatically stick together if we put them in this way. Well now, so we poke the PCM, and everything turns perfectly. Energy is given out here. We can also reverse it like this. We can build up more vapors. Let's make, let's say, 2 sails on each side. We are launching, and now producing from 1024 N. And now let's try to do this whole thing on wool. So let me build this kind of thing. Well, something like mills, let's say. Now let's isolate the whole thing with glue. That is, somehow like this, then like this, and like this. That's fine. You see, we have a dedicated structure. Now I am such a PCM here, and 1024 are also being produced. Then, there is a mechanical rotator. It is made of a shaft, an andesite body, and also a wood semi-block. The mechanical rotator is designed to rotate various structures, just like a rotating table, only much steeper. Let's put, let's say, such a motor here. We put a mechanical rotator on this motor, and now we look at it, poke the PCM, nothing happens, because we need to put at least some block on top of it here. Now we poke the PCM, and now it turns right from our motor. Let's do it a little slower. This is the first function. Let's poke the PCM again, and then this structure will stand up. Firstly, there are several modes here. Again, disassemble the suspension, disassemble only in the original position, and disassemble if the support is destroyed. I always advise you to disassemble it if the support is destroyed, because then at least nothing will break if something happens. And by the way, even now we have already seen what this mechanical rotator does approximately. That is, he can rotate such huge columns. We can make a platform here. We can then attach various devices here. Let's say some kind of drill. I don't know, a combine harvester, a skating rink. And then he will do everything in a circle like this. Next, consider the Velcro block. It is made of 2 cobblestones, 1 rationed dust, 2 andesite alloys, and also a clot of mucus. Let's put it right here, right on the piston, so that it's convenient to demonstrate. So first of all, we can move it. Like all the other blocks, everything moves perfectly. But now look, if we put some block here, let's say the ground, we do it back like this, nothing happens. But if now, when he arrived here, we push the lever here, look, there's an extra little piston with mucus coming out here. And now we do it like this. Hop, look what's going on. This land has been seized, and they are moving there. Now let's go back there. Here, we have the rodstone signal again, and the earth has been released. The same thing can be done, let's say on some mechanical rotator, so that it rotates somewhere like this, takes some block, and rotates, let's say, in the other direction. In general, an interesting thing, it can be used in various mechanisms. Then, there is the linear drive carriage, and also the linear drive shaft. The carriage is made of a gear, an andesite body, as well as any wood semi-block. The shaft is made of 2 andesite alloys, and also a dust ration. This is no less interesting thing than the previous ones, even I would say much more interesting, because we will need to put a shaft like this. Roughly speaking, these are our shafts that were there before, that is, here they are, but they are more pumped. Firstly, they can also transmit energy, well, but in principle there is no need to craft them more expensive without this carriage itself. After all, look, let's break it down now, put the carriage here, because the carriage is placed only on such a shaft. She has 2 gears here that sort of capture this shaft like this, and something will happen. Namely, if we give a signal here, this carriage will move in that direction at a negative signal. Look carefully. Now it's moving, nothing is spinning here, and there is a sticky block on top. Then you can attach any structure here. Now that it has reached the end, it stops moving, but let's get it back. And on the way when it comes back, we put a lever here and activate this thing. It caught fire, and now look here, the gears have spun, which transmits the signal here. That is, now this rotational signal is transmitted here, and if we release it here, then it will go further. Great, let's turn it around. This is where the hop is. This is how we stop and the signal is transmitted. In short, a very interesting thing. At least a crane can be made of it. Then the winch. The winch is made of an indisitny case, wool, and also an iron sheet. What is a winch? This is, roughly speaking, a vertical piston, which should be placed somewhere, preferably at a height. Let's go somewhere right here. And there are two entrances in short. This is where you will signal. You give a signal, and here, like this whole winch unfolds. It is infinite. That is, it can go through at least as many blocks like that, and it will capture some block here. Let's say let's make such a platform here. Now it means a negative signal, and this platform is going up like this, and we are right on such an elevator. Then, the elevator winch. It is made of a brass body, a block of dried kelp, and an iron sheet. For her to work, we will need a redstone contact. It is made of 5 cobblestones, redstone dust, and also iron sheet. And preferably for the operation of this entire structure, we will also need a gizmo controller. It is made of an electronic lamp, an andesite case, and also a button. We take this whole thing and drove to figure out how it works. So let's imagine that we have a gizmo. Here is such a thing. This is an elevator cabin that is not connected to these floors in any way. That is, let's say the first floor, here the second floor, here the third floor. Here and here, there will be a motor compartment like this on top. Imagine that we have a booth. We made it, so I put it all together. That is how I did it. Let's see. Here, I put a hop, one point, and the second point diagonally. That's it. Now this thing is all highlighted, and it will be a single thing for us, which will move with the help of this elevator. How to do it? So you take a block of this elevator, put it here. That is, look, he has the same winch. There is the same winch here. Let's even put it higher like this, so that it is noticeable, which is very similar to the previous one, but this is a more convenient thing that was created just for elevators. That is, to have the first, second, third floor, and in general everything worked very conveniently. What is needed in order for it to somehow capture all this here, all this was considered as floors. We need to figure out what rest in contact is first. Let's go for a quick run. That is, look, we have such a contact here and nothing else. Let's put here, let's say redstone dust does not give out anything. But if here, let's say some piston pushes a Hoport stone contact here like this, which will be directed by this pimple to this pimple, then signals will be given out upon contact, and they will light up. Excellent express analysis contact we have. Now this contact ration will need to be put in your gizmo, let's say somewhere here, and look carefully. Now this ration contact, we will touch another ration contact on this floor. That is, we put it here and they light up. Everything is fine. That is, we have the first floor. Well, the third one has been decided. Then, so that we also have an elevator stop on the second floor, we put it in the same place. Extrapolate, roughly speaking. Down here is the whole thing. And exactly along the same line where we put this contact, here is the contact from below and on the first floor. That is, now, when the elevator goes down, it will touch this contact. This contact will stop here, and it will stop here. Let's poke the PCM here, more precisely. In order to poke it, it is necessary to power at least some energy here at all. Great, everything is activated now. And look carefully, with the growth of contact, these have changed their texture. This means that they have decided how it is the same, and everything will work great. Now you can just put buttons here. Here we have, by the way, the second floor is written. Let's number them correctly. We can also sign them here. We press the button on the first floor, and see what happens. The elevator goes straight to us on the first floor to touch the ration contact, and that's it. He arrived on the first floor. We can also call him on the second, and of course on the third. That's the way it is, and he's coming great. But how can we, let's say, control this elevator from here from the booth? To do this, just the same thing, we'll need a controller. Let's first let go of our gizmo, so we can edit it. Let's put the gizmo controller here and activate it. Now we poke the PCM. We've all got the thing back together. Here we now have a 2 burning. We can now change the mouse wheel to 0 like this, to come PCM, and now we are going to the first floor. It's true that our coordinates have dropped a little bit. That is, we have 0, 1, 2, third floor. But in general it's not so important. We can also go to the first floor, and of course to the last. Previously, in order to build such a thing, it was necessary to make such mechanisms, but now everything is extremely convenient. Next, we will analyze as many as a number of devices. It will be a mechanical drill, a mechanical saw, a mechanical plow, and also a mechanical combine harvester. The drill is made of an indesite body, 3 indesite alloys, and also an iron ingot. The saw is made of 3 sheets of iron ingot, and also an indesite case. The plow is made of 3 iron sheets, 3 andesite alloys, and also an andesite body. The mechanical harvester is made of an andesite body, 4 andesite alloys, and also 2 iron sheets. The first mechanical drill. It can be attached to, let's say, well, anything that moves preferably, because otherwise there won't be much sense. Let's push it back and put, say, turf here and iron ore behind it and see what happens. So we push it, and now we have this whole thing breaking down with the help of this drill and falling right into the world. We can make it so that this whole thing does not fall out into the world, but is collected in the inner chest of this thing. To do this, we take glue with you. Let's immediately use the second hand and also the chest. We put it here, we attach it here and here. So let's do it like this. Now it all comes along with the thing, and we'll try to put iron ore here. Okay, great. We push out our piston. Everything breaks and does not fall out. Now we look at the chest here. Now the whole thing is stored in the chest. Very convenient. Next, let's look at a mechanical saw. Let's put it in place of our drill. Push the piston and imagine that a tree has grown here. And now let's point this saw at the tree. What's going on here? We have broken these blocks, and by the way, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Let's rebuild the structure. We take glue, put a chest here, and here let's get a saw. Once again, we grow a tree here and send a saw here. So she breaks the tree and breaks the whole tree along with the foliage. Everything is being stored here now. Let's move it. And let's now consider a mechanical plow. Let's put it on now. Let's push the piston out here. Now he will just plow everything. But look, for some reason here we have this piston is a block, and therefore, for some reason we have dirt here. In order for this not to become so, we need to do just that, disassemble. If we destroy the support, then look what happens. So, once again the second round, and nothing breaks here. We can pour water here, plant wheat here, grow it, and how can we harvest it? And you can also assemble it with the help of our Creta devices. Namely, we only need a mechanical harvester. Let's put it right here. So it means that we are doing the mode here again like this, and we look at what is happening. We put it forward, and everything is going perfectly. It really flows into the world, because here it is also necessary to attach the chest. Also, let's look at a mechanical roller. It is made of an electronic lamp, an andesite body, and 1 crushing wheel, and this thing is also placed on the piston. But it's better to actually put a little block higher, like this. Then, we put a mechanical roller here, attach a chest to the side. It's all one structure. What is a mechanical roller here? Let's say we will also have blocks here. Let's say these are Veradiv ones. It starts moving and breaks blocks, just like a real drill, but a little more efficiently. There is also a chance, when the blocks break with this roller, that they simply will not fall out. Shifting it back, let's look at its modes. Here, it means demolition and laying mode, filling from below, and also inclined filling from below. Let's focus on the demolition mode of laying. And what is laying? If we put it here now, let's say so, let's go into a chest, or even better, a bigger one, and we put a viridium filter here. Then look what happens. First of all, let's say we will have some kind of obstacle here, but we are moving this piston to such and such a ground. What's going on? He begins to break the blocks, and immediately put the viridium at the very bottom here. That is, he begins to lay the sidewalk like this, something like a skating rink from real life. Next, let's look at how the gizmo controller works with other configurations in general. Let's take it, and take, let's say, a mechanical drill and a mechanical saw. Let's put such a linear frame here, and here, we will have a mechanical drill and also a mechanical saw. And let's put a gizmo controller on top, or even better too. We look carefully, the drill works for us or not. So, she's working for us now. Great. Here we have an obstacle again. Now, let's slow down a little bit. Here is the extension. And click on the button here. And look, now they are active. And all our devices are turned off. Now they just don't work. We can also turn off the devices separately. That is, if we stuff filters here, let's say a mechanical drill, then when we move, we look carefully, we have it extended. Turn off the mechanical drill. The mechanical drill does not work, but the saw works. Next, let's look at 2 devices. This is a portable warehouse interface, and also a liquid interface. The warehouse one is made of an andesite case, and also a gutter, and the liquid one is made of a copper case, and also a gutter. Let's imagine that we have, in short, such a structure. It has its own interface. That is, let's say here, well, let's say there will be so much turf, and it turns all the time, and somehow we will need to unload it. To do this, we have just the same warehouse interface. The liquid one will work the same way as the warehouse one, So we will consider only the warehouse one, because it works with objects. And the liquid one will be liquids, oddly enough. Let's put it right here on the glue. And now look, nothing happens anyway. He doesn't spit anything out. In order for him to start spitting out somehow, we will need to put him a second portable warehouse interface, opposite to where he will be passing through. Let's say we will have it here, and look either in 2 or in 1 block from these interfaces. But there will be a second interface already. Let's say let's do this, and see what happens. So it turns, connects like this. Something happened, but nothing fell out. How to make it fall? Here we will need to put a chute, and let's put a chest under the chute, so that everything is immediately transferred to the chest. Now we look. So we have a transfer going on very quickly. I'm pulling here, and it's gone again. It's possible to collect, extract, and or even kill someone. Next, consider a sequential gearbox. It is made of a brass body, gears, and an electronic lamp. This is a very interesting thing that will make it easier for you, just literally all your torments in Crete. After all, she will think for you, do everything for you. And in general, this box is just very cool. Look, let's put it on. It looks like this. It has an entrance and an exit. The entrance and exit will be where you do. That is, let's say, we have an entrance here now, and there will be an exit here. Well, look, nothing is spinning here. All why? In order to spin, it will be necessary to send a signal here. It starts spinning somehow, stops spinning. How to understand what it is at all? Look, we are TCM, PCM on it, and here, it has such a small programming, that is, it can turn 90 degrees. Let's say we can change this degree in general as you like. Here we can also look, shift the piston of the coil, winch, carriage, by some meters, that is, by some blocks. We can also just make a delay, let's say for some ticks, and wait for a new signal, ration, or the end. Look, we will have, say, a piston. It will move out 5 meters. Here will be a command like this. Then we will have a delay of, let's say, 20 ticks, that is 1 second, and then we will have the next command to move 2 meters. That's it, the end. Great. Check mark. Attach the piston. That's it. We make him some meters. There are from 5 or more. Let's say 7. And that's it. And now we are giving a signal to him. Look, we have the wrong way to work. We need to reverse it. So here, we are making an input force with you. Look, we can do the input force forward, reverse, or double reverse and double forward. Let's do a double reverse. That is, it will move out quickly, and then move 2 blocks at an average speed, checking it out. So it moves out pretty quickly. Great. There are 5 blocks, exactly 5 blocks. It moves by 2 blocks. All the program worked. Absolutely the same can be done with a mechanical rotator. Let's put 2 blocks here, let's say so. Here, we are going to make a turn, at an angle, let's say 90 degrees. Here too, we will have 90, roughly speaking, back. We run the program, turned 90, waits a second, 90 back, that's how it works. Well, let's also consider a special bell and a ghost bell. A special bell is made of a block of brass and also a brass sheet. But the ghost bell is made in a special way. Namely, in order to make it, you will need to put a shower soil, a flint, and put a special bell on top of this fire here. He becomes a ghostly bell. Basically, what is it? Especially the bell you can put, and it will just make a bell sound. But the ghost bell, if you take it in your hand, will show you where the mobs will spawn. That is when there is no light, roughly speaking. It shows the degree of illumination where mobs will spawn at a given illumination. If we put a torch here, then everything. Mobs will never spawn here at night, because the torch is burning here, and if we move away, they will all be remembered here. Also, we can put this bell, it will show in a larger one like this, in a larger radius. It is necessary to poke the PCM, and here he is. Look how he distributes a signal here, shows where the mobs will be remembered.